The Sims 4 is getting a small update next week. Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So the Sims Direct tweeted, "We are working on releasing a small patch early next week that addresses player reports regarding the Reaper's Reward event and missing items from the Happy at Home event. They appreciate our patience and continued reporting to Answers HQ with more details to follow next week." And this was a follow-up from a tweet from September 23rd where they said that their team was aware and currently investigating an issue where players who participated in the Happy at Home event were missing their reward items. They then did a follow-up tweet to say that the current event system now links all claimed rewards to your EA account to ensure players do not risk losing their progress or rewards in the future. To resolve the missing items from the Happy at Home event, we'll be adding the event rewards to the base game across platforms. So that's how we're going to get it back and not worry about, for computer players, they have the account data DB package. And for console players, I think it seems like they just lost it. And obviously some computer players did too. Either that file didn't work properly or they accidentally deleted it, but various things are causing computer players to not have them even though they participated in the event. I do find it interesting that they're saying that the current event system now links all claimed rewards to the EA account because per the EA Help, a blog post, it says all rewards earned through the gameplay events are linked to your EA account, and they differentiate between login events and gameplay events. So maybe this still does need to be updated, and it is going to be a login events and gameplay events. But currently, when I look, this still says gameplay events. Now, they don't say what issues from the Reaper reward events are being fixed, just some concerns kind of thing. So two main ones that I already discussed in my video about issues with the event were this one, which was Reaper's Reward planting flowers are not checking off. And there's a few things, and this count just keeps going up and up and up. And you can see this post from Luth, which is quote unquote the accepted solution, is essentially just saying what some things that were found that were the cause, which was mainly Twisted Mexi Better Build By, which you can see the details there. And also there was a Waffle Gardening Project mod, but there is an updated version of that. But if those things aren't what caused it for you, they are, or they were, and I would say since we don't know what's being fixed, I would still give them information if you don't fit that scenario and are having that problem, so that they can, if they don't have it, still get the information to fix that particular issue. And then the other main one that I had talked about in my other video is that the Reaper's Reward GUI is not showing the tasks, which you can see they have the icons, but not the tasks. And there were some mods and also other things that can cause that to happen. And again, I went into that in more detail in my previous video, but I'll just show you a brief look at it after we see here an updated response here from Krenrick, which has some suggestions about what to do. Plus she has a whole blog post which she has very detailed suggestions, which I would recommend if you want to try and get through it before they fix it sometime next week, that you take a look at her blog post, which I'll show briefly after we talk about this. Mainly that there seems to be an issue by pausing the game before a loading screen and saving before the GUI has fully loaded. And there could be some other things, but those are things that you should be considering when you're playing through. There are some issues with mods, and she is linking to Luth's post, which we'll take a quick look at the updated version on that. And there are some suggestions here about what you can do. And then, of course, there is a thing about to get your Happy Home rewards back, because this is tying into that, to do these other steps. But obviously once we have the update that adds it to base game, that will no longer be necessary. But for now, it would be if you're trying to do it before. There are some other issues noted there. The one with the planting flowers not checking off, which we've already discussed. There's a couple issues with like the newsletter. Either the wait for the task is not completed, or wait for the newsletter task, that is. And also the newsletter delivery causes the mailman to loop, or the mail can't reach the mailbox, the mail's not delivered. So there's a few. Those, when I looked, didn't have a lot of Me Too's on them, but if you are having any of those issues, I suggest you head over to look at those. I'll be linking to this particular bug report, which then has these links nice and handily there. But the plumb bob icons for the quests are no longer available. That is showing here, and so that's where they don't even see, they see the little Reaper's Reward icon, but when you click on it, it just pulls you up to the, like, as if you were finished it, and doesn't bring you the tasks. I think from what I could see, Krinrik's guide to playing in a clean user file fixes that issue for at least some people. And I'll just show that briefly. So that might be something you can try if you're experiencing this. Because again, we don't know what issues from the Reaper's Reward event that is, are being fixed next week. Because they just said something. The other one, which is not a bug, it's a feedback thing, where it's how to turn off the Reaper's Rewards quest. And there are like a few reasons, or two reasons really. Either you've already done the quest and you can't do it again, but you still see the little icon, and all it does is pull up the thing, which is not really that useful because you can get to it from the main menu, but it's like sitting there as a GUI on top while you're playing, which is kind of a little annoying, to be honest. I enjoy doing the quest. I just don't necessarily need that little icon there for 8 weeks. So I added a me too, but there are people who are commenting there that say they don't even want to do it, and so they don't want to see it either. So there's two reasons you may not want to see it. One, you've already done it for the week and you don't want the little Grim Reaper sitting there on the top left-hand corner, or two, you just aren't interested in doing the event, and so you also don't want to see it there regardless. So if you feel like you just don't want to see it once you've completed it, or you don't want to do it, then I would suggest going over it, and I would comment which one it is you want, because right now, unfortunately, they just have this one thread, which has a mixture of people who just have completed it and they don't want to see it afterwards, or they don't want to see it at all. It doesn't have that many Me Too's right now, and it's not in the bug section. It's just like in a feedback section. But I just thought I'd share that because it was on Krinrik's section where she linked to various other things that have been quote unquote reported. In this case was more a feedback. So here is what I would suggest you do if you are having issues and you don't want to wait to see if your issues are fixed next week. This is the one that I would suggest you do, but I'm not going to go over it in detail. I would read through it step by step, but I did discuss it in my full video on issues with the event, which will be linked at the end. So here is that Patreon post by Luth, which essentially she is updating it. But at the time when I got it, the thematically refreshed main menu hadn't been noted as updated, but it is updated now. And same with Twisted Mexi Tool Mod. It's been updated, so if you use either of those, get the updated versions, and then they will be, noted as fixed, just like the waffle one is down below. So she's still leaving it there, which is relevant because if you don't know and you didn't realize you need to update it, it shows here which ones you need to update. And just here is from Thematically. What Thematically did is they did a thing where you press S and it'll bring up the news, which it should be there from what I can gather. And then here's the announcement from Twisted Maxi where Tool was updated, for Reaper's Rewards. So I don't know whether mods will be impacted by the update next week, because a lot of times small updates don't necessarily get impacted, but sometimes maybe a couple do. So that's the status as it is now. If you don't want to wait for the update that we don't know what it's going to be fixing, I'm kind of inclined to think that it might fix the issue with the pausing, because that is quite problematic. It can affect anybody. And I would think, based on the wording that they did, that the Happy at Home login event items will be going into base game next week with the update. But I don't know. I'm just guessing at this point because they didn't actually share the details, just that there's an update coming. So were you actually able to complete the event as it was, or did you have problems, or are you like the one not actually wanting to do the event? I'd love to know in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!